Welcome back to another episode of Cultureminds. My name is Sharnade George, and today we have a very special guest joining us, here to share their story about their mental health difficulty, with the hopes of ending the stigma and normalising these conversations. Today joining us, we have Hannah. Thank you, Hannah, for coming. For those who are not aware of who you are, please let people know.
So I'm Hannah Olateju. I am a social media influencer, university student, and I guess just an all-round woman that does everything, I guess. That's how I would describe myself.
Is this the first time you've ever spoken about mental health difficulties?
No, I quite like speaking about my difficulties because I feel there's some sort of peace when you speak about your struggles, you know. And I even have people all around the world reaching out to me saying, oh, I feel insecure about this, or how can I feel better about that, or how do you cope being so strong? And I actually give them advice, and I do tell them, like, if you need to talk to someone, you can message me. Of course, I can't give everyone my number, but on Instagram, if people just DM me, I'm happy to help.
Mm-hmm. And do you think that attitudes towards mental health difficulties have changed?
I think so, yes, because I feel like people's awareness of like wellness and self-love and self-care is increasing, and I think that people are realizing the importance of having peace in our lives. And I think we're learning to cope with the stresses of like modern life, you know. Everybody's always on the go, especially in London. Mm-hmm. So I think people were just wanting a change.
Yeah,
definitely.
It's good that you mentioned that in London. You know, everyone's on the go, always on social media, and these type of elements can have an impact on our mental well-being.
Definitely.
So it's important that people are now starting to want to take care of their self-care and, you know, not feeling afraid to open up about how they're feeling. So that's amazing. Do you feel that the government is doing enough to support people with mental health difficulties?
Oh, big question. I don't know. I feel like yes and no, because the people that really need the help are not getting enough, and the people who don't really need it, it's there for them, and they may have the resources to get that help, but obviously they're not being used sufficiently. So no, basically.
Okay.
No.
So there's more to be done, and
yes,
hopefully with
definitely.
this interview we can kind of help, you know, get people to speak out a bit more so that the government do things, you know. If there's no voices, then nothing can be done. So the more voices that we get, the more people that we get to speak about it, can do amazing things.
Yes, definitely. And I think if people come together and speak about this, and if our voice is heard, then it would get through at one point.
Yeah, 100%. So let's get a bit deeper and hear a bit more about your story, and which is why you're here. So what is your story in relation to your mental health difficulties?
So I had meningitis when I was 2.5. I'm 19 now, so it was a very long time ago. But I think what happened with me is I was always brought up to be normal in a sense. It was nothing. The only difference I saw was that I had no arms and legs. So that was it. Otherwise, I'll be out with the kids playing, you know. I mean, of course there'd be questions, but then I think like as kids we have this innocence that leaves us as we go into adulthood, which happens to pretty much everyone, you know. So, but with me, I just took it all in my stride, and I just took it day by day. I never really felt insecure as a child, but it was more so when I got to high school, then I think other people started to have a problem with me, which made me feel insecure. I think, and even like to the point of like not even being able to say my name at the register, like I was that insecure. And it's funny when I tell like people, or I talk to my mum about it, because I don't even know who that person was in high school, because I'm completely different, and I don't know how it happened. I don't know what happened. It's just all behind me, you know. So
yeah, sounds amazing. So it sounds like you've come from a place where you were experiencing difficulties and you've kind of grown.
Yeah.
So you say that you were a very quite insecure person. How would you say then that this affected your mental well-being?
I think for me, I always felt like I wasn't good enough, or I've always done something wrong. I often, and probably still do now, over-apologise, but I think it's a British thing, I'm not sure, so I can't, you can't put me on that.
I think it is a British thing, always, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I do remember apologising quite a bit in high school, and I didn't want to get in people's way, you know, and I was a mouse in a sense, and I'm kind of glad I was like that at that age, because at least it didn't follow me up into adulthood, although I still think I'm a child. And I think it helped me grow through having that phase. Sorry. Because, how can I explain? It's kind of like when I was forced to face my fears, basically, and once you do that, I think life just falls into place, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to put it, honestly.
Yeah, no, definitely. What you said about facing your fears, that's amazing, because a lot of people don't want to face their fears, and that's what kind of hinders them from actually becoming their greater person who they can be. So it's good that you actually said that. So in relation to your mental well-being, did it have an impact on your lifestyle growing up?
Yes, so I used to not wear bright clothing. I used to wear quite dark colours, and I think I retaliated, hence the reason I have rainbow hair, you know. So
which is lovely.
Yeah, I think this is really what I wanted to do when I was younger. Okay. But I just had so much self-doubt that I was scared, and it was that fear that was holding me back. And then once I got rid of that fear, that was all created in my mind, really, you know, then things just took off from there.
So when you were experiencing these, feeling quite insecure and feeling quite low, did you tell anyone about this?
Oh, interesting question. Now, at first in high school, well, me as a person, I'm not as emotional when it comes to being in public or around friends. More so family. I'm quite a private person. So at the time, no, I didn't even tell my family that I was struggling with how I was feeling about my body. I kind of kept it to myself because I felt like, I couldn't talk about it. But it was quite funny because I remember the day that I did tell my mum, and she said that she felt the same at my age. And I probably, I had a moment of eureka. I was so shocked because I didn't think anyone went through what I went through. I thought everyone was happy with their bodies. And I'm talking about year 7, year 8, year 9. So that age, we don't even,
know much. Yeah.
We don't know much. We don't know about life. So. Yeah, everything was just going through my mind at that time. And of course, as teenagers, we're hormonal. And so, yeah, I mean, it was a crazy time, but I'm glad I went through that then and not had that time now at 19.
So you say that you opened up to your mum, you told your mum, and you kind of felt quite relieved, which is amazing. You must have taken you a lot of confidence to actually get to the stage where you can feel that you can tell your mum. Prior to that then, how were you managing? How did you manage with feeling this way and not telling anyone?
Well, I had a lot of friends in high school, more so around year 9, year 10. So I would talk to them about it, and I'd have 1 or 2 friends that I would really talk to about how I'm feeling and everything, because you can't be telling all your friends. Your business is everywhere. But so I would talk to friends and kind of look at body positive posts on Instagram, which I quite enjoyed. And I guess it's just I did my own self-therapy, I guess. I had to kind of recondition my mind and retrain it to think better thoughts.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love how you said you've done your own self-therapy, because not a lot of people know kind of how to do that or when's the right time to do that. So the fact that you were looking at images and kind of speaking to your friends, that's a good step in kind of helping you manage that for yourself. So that's amazing that you had supportive people there for you to kind of help you along the way. So thank you for sharing that. So how can someone be supportive of their loved one who may be experiencing something similar to yourself?
Oh, wow. The best thing someone can do is, I don't know. Well, if it was me, if it was my friend, I would probably go and talk to their parents. Mainly because they're the only ones that can really help to control the situation. I wouldn't be able to do much as a friend. But if it's your child, or if it's your sister or your mother, best thing is to do is go to someone who's close to them, or talk to them directly and just be real with them. Let them know that you are always there no matter what, through thick and thin.
What would you then say to someone who maybe feels afraid about speaking out and being open and honest to someone, whether it be a close loved one? What would you say to them?
I think maybe they may have a fear of being judged, but I find with that there's a bit of humility, but I find humility is actually what makes a person's character. So I think admitting that you are struggling, which not a lot of people can do, you'll find peace in that. There is some sort of peace of mind. I don't know why. It's just it's a very enlightening feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like kind of like getting it off your shoulders and kind of offloading to someone and feeling that sense of relief that I've actually managed to say what's been on my heart that I've wanted to say for so long. So it gives you that sense of release and that peace of mind, like you said.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. How do you look after your mental well-being? I know you mentioned, you look at positive body images and kind of find your own self-therapy. Would you like to share some more tips that you do to look after your mental well-being?
Well, I find for me, I know myself very well, so I go through periods of time where I want to work loads and then I'll be really lazy. So in the times where I don't want to work as hard but I want to work smart, I'll only work like early in the morning or at least 3 hours in the day or so, and then take a break. Because I study as well, so I have to really be careful with managing my time. I often watch Netflix. I think that's a guilty pleasure for everyone.
Yeah.
And I think it's just nice to lose your mind in something mindless, I guess. Looking at body positive posts, I would definitely recommend. I can actually give you some names of some bloggers who blog about body positivity and self-love, self-care and everything. I find some sort of peace doing my makeup sometimes. Like just doing eyeliner or putting on foundation, sometimes it's just quite therapeutic, so doing makeup is great, experimenting, and I think that's it. Yeah.
Your makeup was lovely, it looks
Thank
amazing.
You. Thank you.
So it's nice that you can actually find things that you enjoy doing for yourself, and everyone's an individual, everyone's different, so what makes you happy may not make other people happy, but it's good that you've found your unique thing that makes you happy, and you're doing amazing at it. Your makeup looks beautiful. I've seen your blogs and you're doing amazing things, so keep up with what you're doing. You're inspiring millions of people.
Thank you.
So Hannah, where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on Twitter. I'm Hannah the Amputee, and it's the same on YouTube and Instagram also.
Thank you, and thank you for coming and sharing your story with us today.
No problem.
Thank you. Thank you guys for watching In Conversation with Hannah. I hope it has inspired you all. See you next week.